This is the Fluff week. Y'all get to celebrate independence, and we gonna be out here doing some fluffing. I mean,
We're fluffers?
no, well, in a sense,
We're fluffing the video game industry. Just going.
fluffing your knowledge of the video game industry.
Okay. All right. Trying to make it too nice. Hey, it's Gamers Who Podcast, your weekly
If there's
roundup.
if there's anything we don't fluff, it's the video game industry.
That's true. We beat that. Which they might like that. I don't know.
Some of those guys are masochists.
Gamers Who Podcast, your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest. Like peanut butter. I don't know.
I mean, yeah,
Fluff.
That's how that entire conversation started. Was marshmallow fluff.
Yep.
And the weird love that is around it,
Mm-hmm.
or was around it. I think it died a little bit
I think it did too.
because I think everybody went from fluff, and then they discovered Nutella with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And that kind of took off.
Yeah.
And then fluff has never been in the same prominence again.
Yeah, it's never been the same.
So I got some new releases.
Shocking.
I know, right? Because I forgot one last week. Technically,
Okay.
it was the Elden Ring DLC.
Oh, yeah.
I did technically forget that. It's
Shadow
a
of the
DLC
Erdtree.
release. We don't. Depends. Sometimes I don't go over DLCs, but it's
Yeah,
a pretty.
but,
It's
you
a
know,
pretty big one.
It's a big one. Everyone's sucking that from soft dick.
I don't blame them.
I guess if you like to be punished.
If you like to be punished, yeah, that makes sense. They're all masochists, but at the same time, like, I can't say those games are bad. They look good. People love them, and they're just not for me.
I can hate them because they're not accessible to me.
Right. I'm not a bitch. I am a bitch. What? I don't know.
I mean,
But also, Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail, its new thing is out.
is that like an expansion?
Yeah. It's like their new big hotness, MMO
Mm.
scene. And the first Descendant for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
All right.
I believe
So many this
I'm
week.
currently having a cheesecake made for me.
Well,
Unrelated.
wow.
Also new
fucking
new
brag.
rele-
Why
new
don't you
release.
just like dude over here getting cheesecakes made for him? What type of life is he living? Must be fucking nice.
It's a confusing one.
You know what I'd have to do if I wanted a cheesecake?
Go buy
Make it my fucking self.
Oh, I was gonna say, I if I wanted a cheesecake, and I was really wanting one, I'm going to the store and picking up one of the frozen ones and hoping that it's thawed enough that I can eat it by the time I get home. Because if I go to
and
buy
then inevitably it's not, and you eat it anyways.
right, yeah, or I find ways to make it warmer.
Yeah.
I would not microwave it, but just turn on the oven and set it on top of the stovetop or something, just to hope that ambient temperature kind of warms it enough.
Mm-hmm.
Not a sad existence I lead. Anyway,
Yeah. Am I doing number one?
I'm gonna do number one.
Okay.
Because it's tradition. Not that I do number one, but that we have playoffs.
Yeah. Video game industry, turnover. They like that.
Yeah.
They like that.
Ubisoft.
They like those short-term profit margins.
They like contracts and not salaried people. Ubisoft has announced layoffs at its Toronto studio following a restructure with 33 staff affected. Ubisoft Toronto noted that the layoffs will not impact ongoing projects, including the Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time and Splinter Cell remakes. The two "thes" messed up my brain. An unknown number of employees have been let go across the Gamers Group, spelled with a U. I've never seen this. Gamers Group? Various publications. Former staff revealed the cuts via social media, although it is unclear how many of the group's sites have been affected. The Gamers Group currently runs 17 publications, including The Escapist, Destructoid, PC Invasion, Dot Esports, Twinfinite, Prima Games, and Attack of the Fanboy, and Silicon Era. Okay, so some of those I know.
Mm-hmm.
Surgeon Studios has confirmed it has joined the growing number of game studios impacted by layoffs this year. That's a really weird way to phrase we're
We suck like everyone else.
We're highly affecting everybody's lives. With just over a dozen people affected by cuts. The cuts came just 3 months after its latest release, Tales of Kinzira Zhao, released to strong critic and fan reviews. Strong in which way?
I think it was well received.
Okay, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you releasing people after you've done well?
Oh, that's, typical big business.
I mean, yes, but...
Not that they're big, but here we are. Number 2, Capcom has made Minimum Studios a subsidiary through a share acquisition. The Taiwan-based animation production company previously worked on Capcom titles including Resident Evil Village, the Resident Evil 4 remake, and Dragon's Dogma 2. Minimum Studios was founded in 2018 and specializes in keyframe animation and motion capture. The studio said, quote, Capcom has decided to make the studio its subsidiary company to substantially bolster its development and technological capabilities. Going forward, Capcom will continue to explore the acquisition of necessary technological capabilities in order to enhance its game development organization. End quote. Last year, Capcom acquired support studio Sword Canes, which worked on Street Fighter VI. It has also contributed to games including Final Fantasy XVI, Hi-Fi Rush, and the Monster Hunter series. So that seems to be a trend for them. A new trend. Buy things that help us.
I mean, that...
Wild idea.
That seems like a decent idea.
Who would do such a thing?
And again, also, the games they contributed on. Pretty good. Nintendo of America has filed lawsuits against Ryan Michael Daly of Modded Hardware and James C. Williams, known online as Archbox, for violating its copyright by trading and selling circumvention devices. The complaint, filed in Seattle, Washington on June 28th, states that the defendant's sale and distribution of circumvention devices, hacked consoles, and circumvention services has done substantial and irreparable harm to Nintendo. Nintendo claims it's issued a cease and desist to both Daly and Williams in March of 2024 and alleges the latter bragged publicly that he is a pirate who isn't going to give Nintendo $50 for a game. Nintendo also stated that the defendant is well aware that his conduct is unlawful and infringes Nintendo's intellectual property rights. Nintendo has always been aggressive with protecting its IP. Back in May, Nintendo issued a DMCA takedown notice against 8,535 GitHub repositories that contained code from the Yuzu emulator for Switch. That followed a settlement in March between Nintendo and Yuzu developer Tropic Haze, in which the latter agreed to pay $2.4 million to the company and end its support for the emulator. Nintendo will find you and will get its money.
Yes, it will.
Also, in what world are you going to be out here? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm a pirate. Like, what are you? You just
I think, like,
dig the hole.
Yeah, especially with, like, Nintendo, of all companies to do that with. Like, if you're pirating entertainment things like movies or TV shows, odds are you're fine. But if you're supplying people with ways to pirate Nintendo games and then also advertising it on social media, you, sir, are an idiot.
I mean, you're basically going, hey, Judge, the evidence they're looking for is what I said right here and right here, and then the other one where I took a picture of me peeing on the Nintendo sign.
Yep.
All these are right here.
Yep.
I put them in one place for you. You don't have to look very far.
And speaking of moves that don't make any sense, the Watch Dogs movie adaptation has begun shooting. Ubisoft posted a photo on social media on Wednesday showing a clapboard on the film set over a decade after the project was initially unveiled. The post confirmed that the film is being helmed by French director Matthew Turi under New Regency Productions. Margaret Boykin, head of... What a name, Boykin. It reads fine. Like, when I visually look at Boykin, I'm like, oh, fine, it's Boykin. But say it. Say Boykin.
Boykin.
Does something.
Well,
I don't know what it does. I don't like it.
There's two things. Two things to this phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
One, it doesn't affect me that much. And I can tell you why. There's a NBA player called Earl Boykins.
So you're used to this.
So I'm used to it from years ago.
Yeah.
He was a short guy. It was a whole thing. It was like 5'5" or something in the league. That being said, there's also that party that when you say Boykins wants to say Boykins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucking Boykin here. You can very
I kind of lean towards boinking.
Right. You can go to boinking, or you can so easily walk into your biking here.
Yeah.
It just depends on which version you want to go with.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, Margaret Boykin, head of content at Ubisoft Film and Television, is also set to produce alongside New Regency. The Watch Dogs movie adaptation was originally announced in June 2013, before the first game of the franchise was even out. The first entry in the series launched in May 2014. Watch Dogs Legion, the latest entry, came out in 2020 to mixed reviews. Did we not hear that they are no longer making Watch Dog games? That they kind of set that franchise aside?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is what they stated, and then they said we're making 6 more Assassin's Creeds because we freed up that entire team.
All right. But we're getting a movie.
Is it gonna come out at the same time as Skull and Bones show on Showtime?
I don't know what's going on anymore, to be honest with you. It's like a chicken and egg situation. Like, one would think that there'd be a strategy to where you would want to align the different multimedia projects. Like, say, for example, you haven't released a Fallout game in a long time.
Okay.
That you might want to somehow release a Fallout game or announce a Fallout game, or at least have one within the year or two of a TV show coming out about the game. Or like if you're Ubisoft and you're making a Watch Dogs movie, you might want to release a Watch Dogs game around the time of said movie coming out.
I see where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
I see your point. And your point stands. It is valid. It is correct. But I want to shoot holes into your specific points.
Okay.
Legion was not good.
Yes.
For Watch Dogs.
Yes.
So the movie has to take place in the first 2 games, and then they're probably okay.
Mm-hmm.
But like they missed the mark on their entire development as studios doing Legion. And doing the movie and a game, I don't trust them to do both at the same time, because I don't trust them to make another Watch Dogs unless it's remastering the first one.
So on that point, my thought here is maybe it's a barometer. Maybe they're like, we already have this in the works. Let's just see it through, and then we'll gauge interest. And
okay.
if it does decently well, maybe we'll remaster Watch Dogs 1. Which honestly, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Reclaim your former competence.
Claim your destiny.
You know what? Revisit Fallout or Watch Dogs, not Fallout. Fuck you, Fallout.
So I'll also bring that one up.
Yeah. Remaster, remake Watch Dogs. Make it good. And then don't fuck it up. And while you're at it, do the same thing for, I don't know, The Division or something. Give us a good Division game.
Give me Division 1 Remastered.
Yeah. I would play it again.
I would too. It was such a good game. And when I say remastered, I mean do not change anything. The game, even in its final form, functioned perfectly.
You know what I would take, though, actually, is if they remaster it, but then add in all the things they took out that they had originally announced it with.
Oh, yeah, but I also want all the things that they talked about and didn't put in.
Yeah.
That tablet view where somebody could just hop in as a drone and overview and do that stuff. I want the trailer to come back.
Yes.
But yeah, such a good game. So yeah, there's that problem. And then the Fallout one is, well, I have this live service one that we can attempt to shoehorn more people into that we keep saying is doing successful, but I never hear people saying, I'm going to go home and play Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, which Fallout did you start? Oh, no, I've been playing 76 this entire time. Like, I have yet to run into a person in the wild that's playing 76 consistently.
That game should have been aborted as soon as it had the bad, because it did. I'm pretty sure we had this conversation when it launched and it did poorly. Where we were like, they're going to keep this game on life support, And they're actually probably going to turn it into something good, but no one's going to give a fuck about it because it has such a bad reputation. And like the people I know who have played it recently have like, oh, it's actually good now. But it has such a bad connotation now that like it's never going to escape that. So it's never going to be like a Fallout game, you know? It's never going to be like in the conversation. Like you're never going to hear people arguing over whether Fallout 4 or Fallout is better than Fallout. Whether Fallout 76 is better than Fallout 4, like you hear people arguing about 3
but also
and 4
they're just so. I would probably be mad if I heard somebody arguing about that because they're so fundamentally different.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yes, I'm sure we had something similar. I'm not gonna go find the tapes, but in that first, not even the first month, maybe like the first almost like a 6-month review basically of its state, where it's kind of like, okay, everything you guys kind of lied about during your reveal of, you see that weather system over there? Oh, what are you doing? And all these things, typical Todd Howard oil salesman things. But then it was like after 6 months, once the whales figured it out and had their whole gear and whatever, it was like, I don't understand what a casual person does anymore. And it was like, oh, you just nuke, you do things to send off nukes, and I was like, I don't get what's going on. And then they're like, well, we've had 17 million Vault people. And I'm like, if you actually had 17 million active players, you would be the best MMO on the market.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't. You've had 17 million players. But whatever. Fine. Sure. Live your life. But if you're going to do a show, and if Todd Howard isn't lying when he says that they came to him for the show and then he pitched an idea and they wanted to run with that one, that was his next game idea, that he kind of wanted to build a game around this idea, I believe that. But it's also no way it was the only idea he had.
Yeah.
But with also the quality of the show, that's the other problem, is that the show is actually good.
Yeah.
And I don't have that same faith looking at Ubisoft.
Oh, yeah.
So Bethesda, Microsoft, already had a live service game, then released a show to attempt to appease people and pull people back in, then released the biggest expansion they've released for that live service game, all while saying, trust me, there's another one eventually somewhere. We have to do Elder Scrolls first. By then, Season 2 of this show will come out, and probably Season 2 would be closer to coinciding with Fallout, the next Fallout. Ubisoft went, we're only doing Assassin's Creed from now on. We're no longer doing Watch Dogs, but we're going to make a show of Watch Dogs a year after we announce we're not doing Watch Dogs anymore. And all of us just went, do any of you have a strategy? Or is it the Mad TV Iraq skit?
Ubisoft.
There is no exit strategy. Anyway, let's talk about a company I won't be able to pronounce right. Number 5. Quayle has announced a minority investment in Devolver Digital. The mobile publisher, who I didn't know existed, now holds a 3.58% share of Devolver, which was made as part of its strategy to increase exposure of its PC and console segment. The investment follows the recent launch of PC rhythm shooter RoboBeat, developed by Insanity Games. Quayle has more PC and console games in the pipeline, including The Precinct from Fallen Tree Games, The Spirit of the Samurai, Digital Minds, and In Sync from Clockout Games. Earlier this year, Quayle invested 1.5 million euros in French mobile studio 8sec, which specializes in hybrid casual mobile games. I think I know what that means, but that phrase hybrid casual is confusing. It's almost jumbo shrimp.
It's to me.
I think they mean hybrid casual meaning phone and PC.
Okay.
Like a cross save type of thing where
Yeah.
it's like you might be on your phone kind of just chilling, or you might be on your PC chilling, and that's what they're targeting. I think is what they mean. Not this try hard level.
Speaking of try hard level. Number 6, almost 2/3 of PC gamers in China have spent more on games than any other platform in 2024, according to a new report by Nico Partners. The China Gamer Behavior and Markets Report, which surveyed 1,079 gamers in April 2024. This is 100%. This is in here. A, because it was a light week. B, because this is one of those 100% piss Nate off surveys. Because we're talking about China here. They're summarizing all the gamers in China. Fucking China. And they surveyed 1,000 people. Fucking China. Anyways. The report
the problem is that it's not even a China thing saying it's surveying 1,000 people.
Well, I know, it just makes it worse.
The only time you can say you surveyed 1,000 people and you feel happy about it is if you live in a town where the population is 800. That's the only way. Because if you're in India, the U.S., anywhere in Europe, and you say we surveyed 1,000 people, and I think the U.S. is worse. I think they usually stop at 100.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, this would be mediocre if it was in the U.S. And then you take one of the top 3, I think, most populous countries in the world, and then just say 1,000 people. Like, you could do 10,000 people, and you still, I wouldn't feel confident that your numbers are accurate. Anyways, the report also said 19% of PC gamers claimed they spent at least 30% more on titles than they did last year. The report found that Steam remained the top PC distribution platform in China, with nearly 80% of PC gamers who play premium titles using that platform. It also said most players access the international version of Steam without use of a VPN. Elsewhere, 44% of those surveyed watch video game and esports live streams, with 69% using TikTok's Chinese app Douyin to do so. 45% of respondents said they discovered video games by watching short-form content, ranking top for PC and mobile gamers and 4th for console gamers. As for mobile gaming, the mini-game segment has seen major growth, amounting to approximately 650 million players. According to those surveyed, 2/3 of mobile gamers play mini-games daily or several times a week. I don't know what to take from that.
Yeah, I guess there's not... I guess the most alarming part is the end. The survey results are kind of mediocre. I basically would expect those.
Mm-hmm.
Premium stuff on PC, being informed from short form content. That's literally how that works now. Half saying that they watch video game and esports live streams. That also checks out, because I think that's probably either the most or very close to the most percent, depending on who you surveyed across everybody of all countries.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's the mobile gaming part, saying that the mini game segment has seen major growth, amounting to approximately 650 million players. So we interviewed 1,000.
Yeah, and you're extrapolating.
First off, fucking get out of here with those numbers.
Yeah,
but also, according to those surveyed, so we'll use the same 1,000. 2/3 of mobile gamers play mini games daily or several times a week. So 2/3 of 650 million people are playing games on their phone either each day or a couple times a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's a large number.
Yeah. Which is, I don't know. it's hard when you're talking about numbers as big as China. I don't even know where to begin. Like, it's hard for me to fathom that. Is the majority of China's population even have ready access to that level of mobile content?
The majority of it, probably. But the majority of it doesn't live in its largest landmass.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where it gets weird. It's
you
like
get into that whole thing where you can end up in the mountains and somebody's never seen a phone or understands what's even happening.
Well, that's kind of my thing. It's like, all right, so there's definitely a large chunk of the Chinese population that still lives in rural areas.
Yeah, there's
not
still,
the majority, but a large chunk.
No, you might be like 60-40 or something weird like that, where you end up actually learning that if we actually looked at this, we'd be like, oh, what do you mean 40% of China's population is actually completely not on the coast?
Yeah. So like, if you surveyed 1,000 people in fucking Hong Kong, then like you
already ruined your results.
Yep.
But at the same time, if you surveyed 1,000 people in the rural areas, they'd be like,
they'd ruin your results too.
Yeah. They'd be like, I don't understand what you're asking me.
Yeah.
What is tactic?
Yeah.
What's the clock? I use the sun. I don't think it's that bad, but all right. Number 7. Let's rip down another dev, shall we? Bungie. Former Bungie veteran Dan. Oh, Dan, I'm sorry, bud.
I got
Dan
nothing.
Niati.
That sounds good.
I
Sounds
can't.
like
I don't
a real
know
name.
I don't know if the G is silent or the N is. All right, Dan. Dan G is leading the development of the next Halo experience. Microsoft's Halo Studio 343 Industries hired the new lead game designer back in April of this year. While Niati's work experience at 343 doesn't include any juicy details about this Halo experience, there is reference that might interest Halo fans. His LinkedIn resume reads, quote, doing game direction on a Halo experience, giving the Covenant back their bomb, end quote. Prior to his work at 343 Industries, Niati served as lead gameplay designer at Sega's Creative Assembly, at which he worked at the Canned Hyenas. Canned meaning no longer open, not
the
canned
name
hyenas.
Yeah. That's kind of a cool name as well.
Yeah. It's like canned snakes, but canned hyenas.
Yeah.
Open it up, and it's a good improv team.
That is a good improv team name.
It's also a great guild name.
Yep, Canned Hyenas. Got to put that one in your back pocket.
Yep, that's got to go in the list. Before joining Creative Assembly, Niati filled various positions at Bungie, including producer. I slurred the whole that entire sentence.
You did just have a stroke. That's it.
I heard it and I went, fix it? Okay, you didn't fix it. We're going to stop now. We're going to go back and do it again. Before joining Creative Assembly, Niati fulfilled various positions at Bungie. That is a tongue-twisting sentence. Even
it is. It's rough.
Including
this whole thing's rough.
Yeah, including producer on the original Destiny and its expansions, as well as Destiny 2 and its first expansion, The Curse of Osiris. Aside from his role as producer, the nearly decade-long Bungie veteran worked as a gameplay designer on Destiny 2, Warmind, Forsaken, The Black Armory, Weapon Foundry, Season of the Drifter, Shadowkeep, and Beyond Light. Microsoft has yet to officially confirm a new Halo installment, but late last year, a journalist claimed that 343 Industries is actively working on a new entry with the Unreal Engine. Can he save them?
Only time will tell. I mean, I guess if you are, if you're so inclined, you could say there's some hope.
If you're one that wants to believe in the ways of old,
yeah,
then all you can have right now is hope.
Yes. Did you know the U.S. is the third most populous country in the world? I did not think we were that high.
I don't know who I would have put above us. Like for third, I would have had India and China as 1, 2.
Which, yep.
And then I probably would have had us at 3 because I don't really know who else is more populous.
I would have thought
I couldn't tell you who in Europe is the most populous country in Europe. I don't know.
I wouldn't put any European country there. Well, the one that is on in the top 5 that I would have put above us was Pakistan.
Wow. I don't know why. Just in my head, I don't go top 5 world population, Pakistan.
I do. Let me get you there. I get there in my head because I know Pakistan and India beef.
Yeah. I know that.
And in my mind, I'm like, you can't beef.
That border is like territorially
Yes.
constantly fought.
In my mind, I'm like, you can't beef with India unless you got some serious, like, unless you're also packing some peeps. So I assumed that their population was high. Not as high as I thought it was. The one that's in here, which is number 4, which doesn't register for me, is Indonesia.
Oh.
That does not register to me as being a super populous country, but it is, clearly.
Yeah. And I guess when you put that entire belt, it starts to make sense.
Nigeria is another one. For some reason, it just doesn't click in my head that they have a ton.
What number? Are they 6?
They're 6, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. This whole list is kind of wild. Does it have the landmass in there?
No. Does it have the actual number?
Yes.
How big is the cliff from 1, 2, 3 to 4, 5, 6?
I'll tell you what. 1, 2, down to the U.S. third, massive drop.
Okay, I believe that.
So India and China have almost the exact same population at 1.4 billion.
Okay, yep.
And then it massively drops off to the U.S. at 338 million.
Wow.
And then everyone else is pretty tight in there. It's like 275.
No South American country in the top 10? Brazil,
7.
Okay.
Brazil, Bangladesh, Russia, then Mexico.
Interesting.
Ethiopia, number 11. Yeah.
That one's weird.
That is weird. I wonder what their this is terrible to say. Absolutely terrible to say. I wonder what their population would be if they had a steady food supply.
I mean, frankly, it's kind of terrifying to think about.
Yeah, I mean, and with the number like that, after
with the struggles, and they're 11th.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
Is it like you give them, they pass you and they become third?
Well, that's kind of there. Right there is what is so wild about it. 11 is Ethiopia. 12 is Japan. Like Japan's a very prosperous country.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is a very interesting list. Anyways, video games. That's the thing. What did we just do? Bungie. I'm pretty objective nowadays, but I wouldn't mind a solid Halo game. Like I'm pretty unbiased at this point where I'm like, I mean, I'd like to see BioWare succeed, but like I have no illusions that they will. I would genuinely like to see a good Halo game.
I agree that I would genuinely like to see a good Halo game, and I think part of me is annoyed with how Infinite went.
Same.
I say part of me. The majority of me is annoyed with how Infinite went.
The Bungie thing's funny thing that it came into my head, or the BioWare thing's funny thing that came into my head, because like I would stick Anthem and Halo Infinite in the same fucking like room where Halo Infinite, I saw all the potential, but it just wasn't complete.
Yeah, it was, but that's part of the problem, right? Is that it's terrifying to think that they delayed it for a year and then still released it the way that they did.
Mm-hmm.
And just staring at it like, this just isn't, it's not right.
Yeah, it's a shell. But
like them releasing the multiplayer first, I think for the most part, the Halo multiplayer is Halo multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more modern, so it's later Halo, more fluid craziness than the roughness of 2 and 3, and 1 for that matter. But having that as standalone is good. But the entire campaign scenario and forgeness and all these other things that just, the campaign is empty, boring, not a good story, poorly written, not co-opable.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like, what are you doing? The other things, not so much the writing, but like gameplay can be fixed. Empty worlds can be fixed. Your graphics, which is why you had to delay a year because Craig showed up, needed to be fixed. You are supposed to be a pillar and flagship title of Xbox, and that doesn't even get mentioned when they're doing an E3 press conference.
Yeah.
Not even like a Battle Pass update, nothing. Like, they're just not even acknowledging Halo now.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. We will see. All right, number 8. Sony has announced a new line of collectible PlayStation figurines. Created in collaboration with toy company Spin Master, the Shapes Collection is a new line of collectibles based on PlayStation Studios franchises. The first figurine in the collection to be released will be a 6-inch model based on Aloy from Horizon Forbidden West, and it's available to pre-order for $50. Upcoming figures based there are upcoming figures based on Varl from Horizon Forbidden West, Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima, and Kratos and Atreus from God of War Ragnarok. And they will be available on July 15th. They'll be available for pre-order on July 15th, and they will be $30. That's very Japanese of them.
Yeah, it's true.
It is very Japanese of them.
I
wouldn't mind, not that I would ever buy it, because I generally don't acquire things that are
so
superficial, like that I don't have like a function for.
I was about to stop you real fucking quick because I know what's in your house right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff in my house, but everything,
I know
there's got to be like a function.
I know there's Gundams in there.
Yeah, and even then, I only built one.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I wouldn't mind a Jin Sakai figurine.
Yeah, it depends on how it's displayed.
Yes. I wish I did have.
It's the same reason like, I love this little Ragnaros, but I will never go buy. I want them, but I will never buy them because they're too expensive. And I'm curious if there's like an Etsy version of like a.
Surprised they don't have a Thrall,
a small version. I don't care about Thrall.
Okay,
Thrall, sure, cool, but like, I'm a Lich King guy.
All right, Lich King.
So, but the Lich King statue that they have
is probably like $600.
It's taller than this, and it's like $300.
Yeah,
there is a more expensive one that is that, but the one that like they sell is like $300, and I think it's like
the accessible one.
Right? Yeah, the accessible one, but it's like I think it's $300, and I'm like absolutely not. But it's like one of those where maybe there's not a Funko, because I know there's Funko versions of the Lich King, and that's just not the same.
Yeah, no, I've seen 3D prints,
but I want something that's like. Oh, Frostmourne of the Sword.
Well, that and of like the Lich King and other prominent WoW figures.
It's like it'd be pretty cool if I could get some type of thing like that, like a 6-inch Jin Sakai, those whatever. But that being said, Jin Sakai, cool, makes sense, awesome. Is this the same company that they are doing those? I don't know if they're models or statues or whatever of the Horizon robots.
I don't know.
Like the Thunderjaw and
I'll Google the company real quick.
Because I know I think the Lego Thunderjaw, and I think that there's more beasts as well, but I don't think the one I saw was Lego because it was colorless. Because like those beasts from Horizon, those could be kind of cool as like a mantle thing or something.
This problem. I forget that Spin Master's a giant company, so it's like
oh yeah,
Horizon figures. That's what we'll do. Dark Horse, I think.
Maybe
is the ones that I'm seeing. Like one 1:9 scale claw strider that's $1,000. That looks fucking sick.
Quick turn.
Let me see if I can pull it up. God damn it, I can't. You're like you fucking have your Google ad stuff blocked, don't you?
What?
Your
Here?
Google ad services, yeah, on your
Yeah.
network. I do at my house too.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, let me click on it. Fuck, I can't. I forgot. Here, I found it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So I think there's a company that's either them or similar to them that's doing also like Thunderjaws and some of the other beasts.
That's pretty sick. I can't imagine.
Not $1,000, but like they look
No.
cool.
No.
Uh
Yeah, they have a good Aloy statue as well. It's $150. Oh god! All right, what else we got? Now I'm gonna be sucked into this website looking at stuff.
don't get too far.
Oh, they have Mass Effect.
But yeah, no, I mean once I switched my routers over and I have a lot of control and prettiness with things, I was like, ooh, I can just block all of this.
Yeah.
I literally have multiple countries blocked just so traffic can't go to there. Go there or come from there.
Yeah, I need to redo my network, but I just run a pie hole.
Oh yeah, that's one way to do it.
I could get a Reaper for $100. Jesus Christ. Anyways,
But yeah, so, and of course Kratos and Atreus are like, that's another good like pairing.
that
But
is a good pairing.
I'd kind of want to see them there because they already had the collector statue, didn't they? From when the game had the collector's edition, didn't they have a statue in it? I thought.
I think so. Yeah.
So it's like, are you just selling the statues you didn't include in that?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Anyway, rumor roundup time.
Rumor roundup.
The PlayStation 5 backward compatibility with PlayStation 3 games, which is rumored to be in the works, may be held back by some important technical limitations related to the cell processor that powered the PS3, which is kind of what everybody has said for a while.
Yeah.
According to a leaker, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 will be coming to Xbox Game Pass in August, which makes sense. They own Blizzard.
Yep. I saw a part of this was a lot of sources said that the plan's to slow roll, which I think they said that form officially. They're going to slow roll the catalog.
Yep. Also, Pro Skater, amazing remaster. I was so happy that I still have it in my Epic library somewhere. Xbox's Jesse Thomas announced on X that her role at Microsoft was eliminated. After this post on X, Tom Warren responded that more Xbox layoffs will be happening this week. So get ready.
That's going to be all next week.
Amazon Games boss Christoph Hartman said the reveal of the next Tomb Raider and Lord of the Rings MMO is not too far away. When you have no reference of time, that can be whenever the hell you want it to be.
Yep.
A former Rockstar developer said that Grand Theft Auto 5's planned story DLC was canceled because GTA Online was making so much money. And I 110% believe that.
Yep. Makes sense.
If it was planned at all. I have a feeling there might have been like we could do this.
Yeah, let's throw it on the schedule and then we'll
like
reevaluate.
somebody threw a sticky note on a board somewhere, and then that was about as far as it ever got.
Mm-hmm.
The Netflix series based on PlayStation's Horizon franchise is reportedly not moving forward. This report was part of a wider article that accused the showrunner of toxic, bullying, manipulative, and retaliatory behavior. Retaliatory is a hell of a word.
It is. That's the Umbrella Academy dude. The creator of the Umbrella Academy.
Okay. George R.R. Martin may have teased a possible film or TV adaptation of Elden Ring. In his weekly blog, he wrote, and about those rumors you may have heard about a feature film or television series based on Elden Ring, I got nothing to say. Not a word. Nope, not a thing. I know nothing. You never heard a repeat from me. Well, rumor. Which, if you've ever dealt with a child, that's how they know something.
Yes, and I don't think there was ever any rumors. So he just made the rumor.
Yep. There was a casting call for Ubisoft's project Gone. The description reads, Gone is a tactical military video game about navigating the complexities of war. The character description reads like a Ghost Recon game. So Ghost once, never, ever.
What is it? Thai. It's a lot of Thai people. So, and the Ghost Week the casting call for the characters.
Oh,
All the character descriptions are like Thai American or something along those lines.
what's that? Oh my god, I'm gonna try to make a reference that you're not even gonna know. Fuck,
You never
not
know.
the first time.
Story of my life. I don't know anything.
The fucking kung fu movie that Sark loved.
Not Kung Fury.
No.
Kung Fu movie.
Like an actual like.
Ong Bak?
I don't know. I don't know if it was Ong Bak. But when you say Thai American, for some reason, it's what I think of. Tony Ma's something maybe.
Tony Jaa?
Yeah, Tony Jaa. No, I can't remember. I remember him being in like.
That's Ong Bak. But he did a
Maybe.
bunch of other ones as well.
I'd have to go. I have to go find the reference that I'm talking about to
Yeah.
make the connection in my head.
Ong Bak was pretty good. The first one. I know there's a bunch of sequels. I don't know how they were.
Well, that's like It Man, right?
Yeah.
95 fucking sequels.
Yep.
Oh, which It Man are you watching? 34?
Oh man, I only thought they went up to 26. Now for questionable things we didn't write full paragraphs on. There's a good amount of them. And yeah, World of Tanks Blitz has passed $1 billion in lifetime revenue. It launched on mobile in 2014 and expanded to macOS, Windows, Steam, and Nintendo Switch. Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa told investors that it would combat resellers of the Switch's successor by providing enough hardware for retailers to meet demand. He also noted that Nintendo is no longer affected by the semiconductor shortage. What does that mean? Every company says that. We're going to fight scalpers and resellers by making enough units. Motherfucker.
That's not how that works.
That is not how that works.
You're giving the scalpers and resellers more ammunition.
Yeah. It's like when a car slows down on the throughway. It creates a ripple.
It's a good.
Yeah. So like, unless you can make the lifetime amount of consoles and have them available immediately.
The old one break is but a ripple in an ocean of effects type of thing.
Exactly. So like, that's not how that works.
There was somebody. Where was I?
In your dreams.
I know I was on the thruway. I think I was coming back from that graduation party, and I was just on cruise control, just in the right lane, just vibing because
Yep.
you know I cruise in the right lane.
Yeah,
I'm a good American.
Yeah,
you do what you're supposed to do. Left lane is passing.
You're not the main character.
Left lane is passing. You then get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, you're living your
And
life.
I'm going.
You're considerate.
I pass one person that's in the left lane, and I'm like, man, whatever, man, just vibing. And then I get up to this other person, who the person is slower in front of me, so I'm going to go out to pass them. Then I notice that the car that's just in front of them is actually slower by like a mile an hour in the left lane, and I'm just now it's building. Now there's that moment where I'm like, I'm not in a rush, so I guess I'll just wait. And either we'll get past them eventually, or I'm going to be in a 2-block scenario the rest of this way.
I wish.
Here comes his car behind me.
Okay.
Flies up to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, he's going to be real disappointed here in about 2 seconds.
Yep.
I see him go over. Gets just his nose just past mine. He can't go anywhere.
Yeah, gets pissed.
He just can't go anywhere. So then he starts doing the weave.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, we're going 70.
Yeah.
Not exactly the fastest in the world, but
yeah,
enough that this isn't
I don't know you, buddy.
Enough that this
don't
isn't going to
be
be
weaving
pretty.
next to me.
So we eventually end up separating enough
Mm-hmm.
that he can pull the go between the two move and then get back in the left lane.
Yeah.
So he ends up, probably by riding that person's bumper, moves them far enough just in front to do the snake move. And then when that happens, everything's fine, and he goes on his way. These two cars, the one in front of me slows down when he makes the move. Fine, makes sense. You don't want to get clipped by this guy.
Yeah.
The car that he's passing starts to slow down.
So now they just got a wall.
So he makes the move and he succeeds.
Yes.
But I don't understand how people in the left lane see people passing you on the right
And then don't immediately say,
and
oh,
don't
maybe
go,
I should
"Oh,
get over.
I'm supposed to be over there."
I wonder that every time I pass someone on the right.
Every time. Every single
Whenever
time.
I come up on someone in the left lane and then I move over to go around them,
Yeah.
I'm always like, do you not realize?
Do you not see me? Do you not know you're in the wrong spot? Or
Yeah.
are you the main character?
I think
There are a few times where I will accept that,
Mhm.
and it's not the throughway. But it's like, think about coming up here, right?
Yeah.
Right as you get out of Utica and you're going, and there's like, okay, if you were a slow vehicle and you didn't trust yourself, would you be all the way in the right lane with the gorge, or would you be in the left lane with some grass in a ditch? Like, if you didn't trust yourself, I could be like, okay, you're fully in the left, but it's 3 wide.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be annoyed, but if I can see why you're there, that'll make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
But this person's just a regular ass car. Nothing wrong with it. The person's not white knuckling their steering wheel. They're just driving. I'm like,
At least you handle it better than I would because
I just have reached a point when I'm driving for the most part that I just kind of hit that. All right, man.
Yeah, you've hit old man phase.
I
still get fucking pissed.
I know you do. It's because you're not the only person. There's a bunch of people I've ridden with, but
Yeah.
I remember that's what Brandon joked about when we went to Boston for PAX for the first time. So we hit that stop, and he's like, "You drive," because he's like, "I will lose my mind in there," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"All right, I'm just gonna we're gonna get there,
Mm-hmm.
and if it means that I let somebody else merge instead of myself, and we don't die, fine. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be just chilling." And he's just, even in the passenger seat, he's like, "Oh my god, what?" And I'm just like, "Hey, can I like get over?" You?
I don't mind that. It's It's when people around me are inconsiderate.
Oh, for sure.
That's when I start to go fucking ballistic. Where I'm just like, get the fuck away from me.
But even it's definitely the mix of that. But like in the city, for me at least, and specifically the city being Boston,
Yeah.
it is it's that whole misunderstanding where it's like, not misunderstanding, but it's the no forethought.
Yeah.
So when somebody's like, "Oh, I got to turn left coming up in like 5 miles," I'm gonna hide 5 lanes to the right,
Yeah.
and then have to do some nightmarish cut all the way across. Like, no, just move over and then just be there.
Yeah.
So that way, when it gets there, you can just go.
You're ready. You're there. You're where you need to be.
Because the last thing I want to be is the guy that is at the end of the merge ramp that
Ducking.
can't merge.
Yeah.
Because there's just car. Because you either started to go too fast, assuming you had a lane, or you went too slow to hit the giant gap.
Yeah.
All about timing.
All right. Number 3, a UK employment tribunal has ordered Cloud Imperium Games to pay a former employee £27,000, British pounds sterling, in compensation following a discrimination claim about its return to office policy. A senior programmer was dismissed in 2022 after his request to permanently work from home to accommodate his disability was denied.
I'm sure there are other ones. I just don't know them. But isn't it funny that they call it a tribunal?
Yes.
I don't know why. It just tickles me every time I hear it.
Yeah. They got that
tribunal.
the UK, man. Or they got that old world, I don't know, fucking vocabulary. Daybreak has acquired Singularity 6 as a wholly owned subsidiary. The Palia? I don't know. The Palia developer will continue to operate independently. Singularity 6 will use its expanded resources to invest in development, bringing Palia to its 1.0 launch and making the game available across multiple platforms. EA is removing Battlefield 3, 4, and Hardline on Xbox 360 and PS3 from digital storefronts. Squad Busters has generated $24 million in revenue during its first 30 days. In comparison, Brawl Stars made $43 million in its first month in 2018, and Clash Royale generated $115 million during its first 30 days in 2016. I don't know any of that, take from that what you will. Keywords Studios has reached an acquisition agreement with Swedish investment company EQT for around £2.2 billion, pending approval. Keywords is a fully integrated, creative, and technology-enabled company that supports firms such as Activision Blizzard, EA, Epic, and Square Enix. Adult Swim is delisting several more indie games. They said,
What?
quote, what?
What?
That whole thing that happened where Adult Swim, they had a lot of those like indie titles that they published, but they are like stepping away from that, so they delisted it, and then it was like,
okay,
I
remember something vaguely about that.
Yeah, and they weren't initially, they were just delisting it, and the one developer was like, you're fucking me, basically. And then they started to just say, okay, we'll just give them back to the developers. Adult Swim is no longer able to continue as publisher for this game, and the developer is not available to take over as publisher at this time for the 4 titles that they listed, or however many. Sony Interactive Entertainment will be attending the Tokyo Game Show this year, which is happening September 26th through 29th. Nintendo says that while it recognizes generative AI as a hot topic and may lead to technological developments, it currently plans to, quote, deliver value that is unique and cannot be created through technology alone, end quote. So basically, we see you, but we're not interested in you right now. Get good, scrub. Remember how 4.5 years ago, 2K announced that a new studio called Cloud Chamber has been established specifically to produce new games in the BioShock franchise?
Kind of.
Me, I didn't.
I think I'm confusing that with the game that looks exactly like BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, which is from the BioShock guy.
Yeah.
Ken Levine? His name?
Yes.
Judas is the game.
Yes. I think that's entirely correct.
What the fuck happened?
Wild. If you are correct,
my memory worked
wild.
One time.
That's what you.
What's going on?
That's
here?
what you burned your charge on. One memory shard is you just remembering.
Actually, that explains a lot.
Ken Levine's Judas.
Well, anyways, Cloud Chamber
what was I going to do for breakfast this morning?
Cloud Chamber is randomly hiring 30 people, 30 positions. So I guess they are going to develop a game. According to AMD's gaming client PC business lead, Sony's PS4 helped AMD to avoid going bankrupt. Star Wars Outlaw has gone gold nearly 2 months before launch, so expect a giant day one patch. The PS5 lead system architect, Mark Cerny, is surprised by the wide adoption of ray tracing, which he expected to see more in the later parts of the current console generation, and the push for 60 frames per second as a norm. Shook, some may say.
Shook, bro.
A group of Japanese gamers don't agree with Assassin's Creed Shadow's historical accuracy and the lack of cultural respect from Ubisoft. There's now a Japanese petition on change.org that demands Ubisoft cancel the title. This one's a wild one. Sega's upcoming Crazy Taxi reboot is an Unreal Engine powered, massively multiplayer open world title. I lack the vision to see how Crazy Taxi could be an MMO. And be good.
I lack both.
Honestly, I lack the vision. Don't get me wrong. Played a lot of Crazy Taxi
it was a fun
when I
time.
was younger.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
I enjoyed it. I lacked a vision to understand how Crazy Taxi could be viable again at this state in the world.
And I don't think you're wrong for that.
Capcom has announced that the seasonal content for its shooter Exoprimal has concluded. Done with seasons. Nintendo has ended its Wii U repair support program, citing a lack of parts.
Which is hysterical. Well, hysterical for two reasons. One, they finally had enough Wii U's break that they could run out of the few that they manufactured. Two, they've broken so much they ran out of the spare parts.
Yeah. That's it for...
What part do you think broke? Keypad? I gotta guess it was probably the pad the most.
I want to say like a trigger or something. I mean, the easy one would be the screen, but I feel like it was actually pretty robust. So, I don't know. We'll never know. You know, it's going to be wild. It's like 10 years or 20 years from now. Those are going to be collector's items. They're going to be going for buku money. Yeah. They're going to be going for like buku money because there's so few of them in existence.
Right. I think it's going to be one of those where they're going to go for buku money, but only because stupid people are going to buy them. Because the problem is that the game... it's
the perfect storm, dude.
But it is. It's the perfect storm for idiots.
It's the perfect storm because fucking Nintendo. So everyone's going to be like, oh, Nintendo. It's the same reason why when I was younger, I had to spend fucking $90 to get a copy of Tetris for Nintendo DS. Because it was like rare. But like, it's Nintendo. They made so few of them. They didn't sell well. No one liked it. And they're going to get just tossed in the garbage. So the people who keep
But it's not going to be like a landfill scenario where they find copies of each.
No.
It's the I guess the problem is like there's nothing that's they would if they'll end up collector's items for all the wrong reasons, because like on some of the other things, right, like on Super Nintendo's whatever, you'd be like, oh, but like if I can get one that works and is really pristine or whatever, then I can play blah 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 blah.
No, I agree. But they're going to be solely a collectible.
Right, because all the software on them, you can play on everything else for the most part.
Yeah.
And that was the only redeeming quality of it was the software.
It's going to be for the sole reason of it to be sitting on a shelf and people be like, oh my God, is that a fucking Wii U?
Like there's iPhones that have Flappy Bird.
Yeah. Oh my God.
There's Wii's because of Wii Sports. But there's not Wii U because of blah. Like nobody's holding on to a Wii U. People are buying PlayStations that have PT on it. People are buying like certain things like that, but it's like, oh, well, this Wii U has Donkey Kong free, so I'll just buy a Switch.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, but I could play Breath of the Wild on the Switch.
But
it's just, there's just so much. Yeah.
It's going to be one of those things. It's going to be stupid.
It is. It is going to be stupid. But it's been 7 days. What you been up to?
I built a swing set.
Feel my allergies, by the way.
Yeah. I built a swing set. That was fun.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went well.
Not as difficult as you.
So assembling was fine.
Okay.
No complications. I got the beam and the legs, one set of legs in, like the bottom. I didn't do one side. I did like one. I did
one truss.
I didn't do a truss. I did like a side, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And I did that, and I gave it a heave and picked it up, and I said, "There's no way in fucking hell that Samantha is going to be of any value flipping this thing upright. No way." So I'm like, "Well, I'm done. I'll wait until I can get someone here to put the other two legs in, and then we can flip it." And so Joey ended up stopping by, and it took like. It was way easier. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be to like stand it upright.
Yeah.
But I think it was like the two factors of like I'm not used to having help from someone who is of equal strength. So like it was nice. And all the other thing too is it was treated wood, so it had been drying out the entire time. So like when I initially bought it, it rained that first day. So the pressure treated wood was already still wet from being treated, and then it also sat out in the rain for a couple days.
Yeah.
So like it was heavy as fuck, and then it dried out. It got wicked light. So, anyways, it went together well. We got 3 swings. We got a regular swing, a toddler swing, and the hammock chair. Everyone likes it. And yeah, and then I started to put my sim racing seat on. And I got halfway through that and had to quit because, kids. And then I did play a Flash game. So like Aiden was in the
What fucking guy doesn't play mobile games? Comes out with I played a Flash game. What fucking year is it?
I know, right? Well, I was like
Were you
at
playing
my
Lemonade
computer.
Stand? Was it Lemonade Stand?
I was
Kitty Cannon?
No, it was a tower defense game.
Balloons.
I was trying to. I did play Kitten Cannon. I tried to, and then I was
As
playing
you
that.
should.
Well, I was like in the office, and Aiden wanted to come in, so I was like, all right. So I popped him on my lap, and I was like, what can I fucking do? Like, I had Formula One on one monitor, so I was like, oh, I'll pull up a Flash game. I pulled a Flash game. I'm playing Kitten Cannon. I'm like, this is probably not a good idea.
There are a few things, mainly the spikes.
Yeah. And then so I ended up getting sucked into a tower defense game because like I couldn't pay full attention to the computer because I was trying to do the podcast document because I had to make sure he wasn't trying to kill himself because there's a ton of shit in the office that's like
Because kids.
yeah. But he got sucked into like pretending he was driving with the steering wheel. And
that would be a dangerous time.
So like it wasn't turned on or anything.
Put him in like Wreckfest or something open world. Put him on that Assetto Corsa sim.
Yeah,
where you're on the highway.
So he was messing around, and I was just like, I'll just play this tower defense game for a couple minutes, and yeah, that's about it. What have you been up to?
World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
Marvel Snap.
Nice.
Played a little bit of the show today.
Nice.
And did some more puzzles in Freshly Frosted.
Fantastic.
Because I've still never finished the game.
Yes.
I always keep it in my back pocket of like something to do, just kind of brain tweaks.
Yep.
But still working on finishing that.
Yeah.
Every now and then there's ones I just stare at and I'm like, I don't fucking understand.
Yeah.
But that's good. I like that.
Little, you gotta twist the screws a little bit.
And they can give you hints.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll like put in like one thing and be like, this is correct. Now figure out the rest of it. And I appreciate that. There's one I was staring at, and I was staring at it for like 20 minutes. I was like, I have to be an idiot. There has to be something I'm missing. And then they put in, I was like, all right, you know what? Screw it. I'm not being prideful here. I want to just have this and all right, show me the hint. And they put the hint in, and it's just they do the line, and I'm staring at it like, okay, fucking help me.
Yeah, that's usually my issue in that type of game that have hints. That's usually my issue is that they'll do it.
I'm like, okay, I kind of figured that's what I needed to do. But what the fuck?
Yeah, there's never a light bulb, and I'm like, well, fuck. There's never a light bulb that goes off, and I'm sitting there like feeling like a dick. But
yeah, there's not that moment where I go, oh,
yeah.
It's usually like, all right, A, B, C, D. Well, 50-50 it. You're like, okay, well, I was guessing between these two. And then they 50-50 and they remove the two you were guessing. And you're like,
well, fuck.
All right, well, I'm an idiot. Or they go 50-50, I'm between these two. And they 50-50 and they leave those two and they go, and you're like, what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah. Actually seeing the Star Wars Outlaws Gone Gold thing, I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to
yeah, that's cool.
I'm going to have to play a game.
Yeah, that's true. There have been a few. I was looking. Was it earlier today or last night that I was flipping through my Epic library and a little bit of my Steam one because the Steam Summer Sale was going on. Is going on.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't need to buy anything. But is there anything that's not like a good price on sale? There's a few things like Harry Potter. I think is like $30.
Yeah.
Celeste is like $2. So there's like a bunch of games that I know are good, but I won't spend the time with to buy them. And I was like, oh well, Deathloop's like $5. Do I care? And so I paused myself from buying anything. And then I opened up Epic for whatever reason. Oh, I think redeem the free game that I do every Thursday still. And I go in and I go to redeem it. And then I'm like, what is in my library? And I just start flipping through things. And I'm like, oh, there's Deathloop. Oh, there's Art of Rally. Oh, there's Marvel Midnight Suns. There's Guardians of the Galaxy. There's just all these games I've claimed over the time that I've never played.
They
And
just
I went,
forgot about it.
I don't need to buy anything. If I ever want to play a game, I have plenty in here.
Mhm.
I could reinstall Tony Hawk and I'd have fun playing it.
Yeah.
I could reinstall Art of Rally and enjoy playing that. If I wanted to have a campaign that I actually play through, I could go get Guardians of the Galaxy and play through that. Like,
Yeah.
I
Which
had
actually was
so many options.
well regarded.
So
yeah,
I was just like, oh yeah, I don't need to do anything.
Someone posted on Reddit, like it was on Reddit or something like that. But
Oh, and then sorry.
no, that was the other thing was I came across Nuclear Strike, the old PS1 game.
Oh yeah.
And like someone had posted on Reddit, and I was like, I used to play that all the time. And I was like, fuck, man, I kind of want to like play this. And then I went down a rabbit hole of being like, is this like something you can get on PC? And that was a whole thing. It's like, it's just like one of those old retro games where you have to like, you can get it on PC, but you got to like,
Yeah, you gotta emulate it or whatever.
yeah, you got to do something.
I was going through Twitch because normally I'll just go to whatever stream I'm watching and it'll just immediately put me to the stream and I'll just hit theater mode so I just don't see any of the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
But I was looking for a stream today for a Warcraft thing, and I see in the corner I have like 12 notifications, and I was like, what the fuck are they gonna be? Are they gonna be stupid things like, here's free DLC, free items for Destiny? I'm like, I don't play Destiny anymore. And so I'm scrolling through it, and I'm like, oh, I guess they're kind of doing like their summer giveaway thing. So I claimed 8 games or something like that.
Oh shit!
Between whatever the Twitch/Amazon game launcher is. But then a bunch of them were also codes for Epic and GOG.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like redeeming everything. And I was like,
nice.
Oh, all right. I guess I have more things now. Cool. So and I was just like, yeah, I don't need to buy anything. I have things to play. And then, yeah, it'll be Outlaws is probably the next.
Yeah, which that'll
The
probably
next
be
non-WoW game that I'm looking at. I think I have to like pay attention each week now because there might be one that creeps up that I forgot about.
Have they said it? That's going to be on Ubisoft Connect, I'm assuming, right?
I assume it is.
Okay.
Because that's how I intend to play it.
Same.
1 month, big tier, give me big version.
Yep.
Be done in 30 days.
Yeah, that was $15. Fuck off.
Hey, wanker. So yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, cool. See you guys in 7 days. Toodaloo. Bye-bye.